here we are. This is S.x Love Psychedelics, and I'm your host, Dr. Kat, bringing you psychosexual conversations that will leave you intellectually turned on and hungry for more. And how would you define for our audience what archetype means so they can anchor into that?
Yeah. So archetypes, as I understand them, are energetic entities that are both rooted in our personal psyche, but are also totally independent, right? So Jung talked about the collective unconscious. So the collective unconscious is the realm of everything that is shared in humanity and beyond, that's beyond race, beyond culture, right? So if you go, the most easy way to explain it is if we will travel anywhere in the world and we will ask people to describe mother, every tribe, every culture will have an idea of mother, even if they never met. And if we will look at these descriptions, we will find something in common. So, right, he said that those commonalities are from the fact that we all share a psychic space that is the collective unconscious. Now, the deeper collective unconscious is the thing that connects us to, it's where dreams come from. It's where we connect in psychedelics to ancestry, to other dimensions, and in the collective unconscious live the archetypes. Now, the big thing with archetypes is archetypes have been really intellectualized when Jung kind of became mainstream. So it's like, oh, they became like looking at a picture. And Jung talks about it a lot, that archetypes have to be felt. If you don't feel it, you're not really there with them. So you have to feel them. You have to feel them emotionally, and you have to feel them in your body. Right? So the mother archetype can be my personal mother. But if I go deep enough, I will also connect to the mother archetype. Right? The big mother archetype.
Oof.
So it'd be some kind of, we'll start finding roots in some goddess or some deity or Gaia or the earth or something like that, right? But it's really about, it's knowing to do the inquiry. So when I meet, I'll give an example. I had a personal experience of being in an ayahuasca ceremony and having this black fire, like with all these flames surrounded Buddha show up. And it was magnificent and terrifying at the same time. And I had a freeze response. My response was, I froze. And I heard this voice saying, did you notice what you just did? And I was like, yeah, I froze. And what I experienced as the archetype, this Buddha was like, but why? This is just my appearance. It's not who I am. And I was like, oh, that's true. And then the whole conversation became about the ways in which I had fear of what I would call the feminine, this powerful, beautiful, wise, wild feminine energy that just showed up through this Buddha archetype. And it was a whole conversation. And I saw in myself the ways in which my personal psychology was carrying fear that I was then projecting onto women. But I also saw that in that fear, in my personal psyche, there is roots in the feminine, which is feminine is the unexpected. It's the surprising. It's the uncontrollable. It's process. It's mystery. It's the formless. And I had to look at my relationship with that. And I was like, wow, that is terrifying for me in some way. I love it. I seek it. Obviously, I'm here. I put myself in a psychedelic state where I'm going into the formless. But there is also a part of me that's scared. And why?
Of course, yeah.
Right?
So this is interesting to hear, the archetype of the mother. You said the personal mother and then the mother, and he's doing a big ol' arm wave over here to depict that. For individuals who
aren't familiar with this, or perhaps are new in the concept of introspection, which is really important for psychedelics, or in my opinion, for effective work here. How would you describe to somebody when you drop from the personal relationship with the archetype to the I guess the how would you say it?
The transpersonal, the
Yeah,
collective.
I was like primordial, existential archetype.
Yeah, absolutely. Primordial, mythopoetic, mythological. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the exercise I do with people in the courses that I teach is I have people write, first of all, just free associate to the word mother. So you just free associate, don't think. So you write mother is warm, aggressive, kind, caring, food, right? All these things. And usually certain words will show up that if you think about them are not related to your mother. So maybe it can be unconditionally loving, and then we can start wondering like, oh, wait, where's this coming from? Now, usually most of us have, when we let ourselves go, we start discovering that we have the wish for the archetype. So what I didn't get from my mother, I wish from some other mother, and usually it's from that archetype. So I wish for a mother who every time that I felt bad would come and hold me and reassure me and stare me right in the eyes and soothe me, and she will be totally attuned, totally understanding. That's not a human character, right? No mother can be that all the time. It's impossible.
Right.
That is the archetype expressing itself, the desire for the archetype. I think an easier one for people might be when you think about partnership.
Yeah.
Right? If you asked anyone, like, write what you want in your ideal partner, but really let yourself go, right? You see this whole list of they are kind and warm and funny and always understanding. And this is where you're kind of projecting, right? You're projecting the lover archetype onto an ideal partner.
Yeah.
This is where most of us are starting to feel the reality bite us in the butt when we get into a relationship, because all those projections start falling apart.
Right.
So which means that the archetypal projection is falling and I'm staying with the person. So yeah, Kat is funny and smart and intelligent and this, but she's not always understanding. And sometimes she feels repulsed and she has strong feelings. And I don't know about that, right? I'm just using you.
Yeah.
Right? So that is my archetypal projection. So I have to start separating right? I have to withdraw and take back those projections, the archetypal projections, and work with the human. And why am I projecting that on you? Usually we project on people the things that we are either severely lacking because of our upbringing, or that are part of ourself that we give to other people. So I will make you the powerful, or make you the most horrible because it's part of my own shadow that I want to negate. Or the pieces in you that I need to integrate in myself for my own healing. Right? Meaning, if I have a really hard time regulating, I will want Kat, my partner, to be really good at that.
Yeah.
Because then she can do it for me. Because I can't do that for myself. So that's where, to your question, like, I think where the archetypal and the personal kind of intersect.
Well, that was fun. Thanks for tuning in, lovers. And if you want to experience more ecstasy and sexual liberation, head over to sexlovepsychedelics.com and learn about how you can join me for any one of my online or live events. And while you're there, grab my free guide on sex and psychedelics. Remember, this podcast is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please contact your healthcare provider and local law before pursuing any of the products or psychedelics discussed. And one final note here. I make this show specifically for you. If you're loving the show, then be sure to leave me a review in iTunes or Spotify to let me know. Happy to be here and happy to serve. I'll see you next time on S.x Love Psychedelics.